Hi everyone, I wanted to talk to you today to say a little bit more about my Blackbird curriculum in a bit more depth. At the moment, Resource Pack 1 and Resource Pack 2 are available, and each of them have 10 lesson plans, but the resources also follow a whole year progression. And so I want to say a bit more about the content of each one. In every pack you'll get 5 of these animal pictures, and each of the animals has a specific rhythm, and gradually the children learn to clap the rhythms, to recognise the rhythms, to put the rhythms together in animals, but then also they start to read the rhythms. So by the end of the 10 lessons of the first term, they will have learned 9 original songs. It's been really nicely illustrated by Mithila Shafiq as well. And alongside these songs, some of which use clapping and body percussion to really bring home the pulse and the feeling of rhythm, which is so important. So alongside learning those songs, they will also have started to learn to read some rhythms as minims, crotchets and quavers. And they'll be able to recall those rhythms. And then in term 2, we pick up on that. It's what's called a spiral curriculum. So things come back, but they get gradually more complex. So we always refer back to things that they know, because for younger children, I feel it's so important that all the time at least 60% or 70% of what they're doing is what they're already comfortable with. And then you add a little bit on top all the time. So that's very much the ethos of how I've designed the curriculum. So in term 1, they'll look at things like legato and staccato, and a lot of our songs, for example, our frog song is very bouncy and illustrates staccato. Our Henry the Puppy song here has the same rhythm as Freddy Frog, our frog, but this time they're using it in a different context. So they'll be doing the here doggy, here doggy. They're all original songs, as I said, written by a fantastic composer, Dominic Sewell, with Laura Trundle. And the words are really designed to expand the vocabulary as well. So it might be words that they haven't heard before, but the idea is that they then expand their vocabulary as they learn the songs as well. So as we know, music has so many offshoots, and this curriculum is no exception to that. They'll be working on coordination with clapping, singing, marching, really feeling the music and movement to music. We want them up as much as possible and really responding in so many different ways. They'll be talking about how music makes them feel. So does anyone have a pet? What's that pet like? We've got a lovely song about flying a kite, which shows pitch going up and down. They can talk about what's their favourite colour of kite. So it's really about bringing children out of themselves and building confidence as much as about the music. We always have a section, Lie Down Listening, where they listen to music and talk about how it makes them feel. There are exercises where they have to draw the colours of the music that they're hearing. So really corresponding to those early years foundation aims of expressive arts, coordination, social and personal development, mathematics, of course, when they can see the relationship between a minim and 2 crotchets, and a crotchet and 2 quavers. So they're really just building all these aspects through the curriculum. So by the end of term 1, they'll understand legato and staccato, they'll understand dynamics, louds and softs, and how they might conduct those themselves as well. They'll be able to recall simple rhythmic patterns, and they'll have learnt all these lovely new songs and had a wide experience of music as well. In term 2, we start to introduce the solfa, just very basic solfa. So the solfa is a way of naming degrees of the scale, and you can also use hand movements. And the way I use it in this curriculum is to help children to understand the relationship between the notes, and that helps with singing in tune and musical understanding. So we just, in the second term, use do, re, mi in our songs. But we also have a lovely activity called the solfa slide, where you slide up to do, re, mi, re. So they're learning to go back to the same pitch. And then we might have a slide by the time we get to the top for a very brave 5-year-old. So do, re, mi, fa, so, re. So we really start to work a little bit more on pitch in the second term, as well as consolidating the rhythm work. And again, as I said with the spiral curriculum, just moving that on and starting to read minims and crotchets and quavers and starting to put them next to each other. And again, we can start off with the animal pictures. So we can put the squirrel next to the mouse and they're reading Sammy Squirrel, Monty Mouse. Those are our hardest rhythms. So they're actually not usually the ones that I start with, but they might read Blackbird, Freddy Frog, Blackbird, Freddy Frog. First looking at the pictures, then understanding how it feels to say those rhythms and clap them. And finally, it's always finally showing them the notes and starting to understand that a crotchet is worth 1 and quavers are worth 1. 2 quavers are worth 1. So if we put them together, we have 2 beats. And then gradually they start to write their own rhythms, which is really exciting. And even from a young age, they can understand this if it's introduced in the right way. So you might give them a bar and say, okay, we have to have 4 in this bar. So how are we going to make this 4? We could pick a minim worth 2, we could pick 2 quavers worth 1, and we could use a crotchet and that would make 4. So through music, they're just learning so much about mathematical techniques as well. So I hope that explains a little bit about what they can achieve in these terms 1 and 2 of the curriculum. And if you'd like to find out more, please do get in touch or visit our website. The details are below. Thanks so much for listening.